Welcome to this week's episode of Those Two Guys Talk Disney. I think I just did it again, where I started before this thing started counting. I'm Justin Vaughn, joined again by Jay Gibson.
What
Alright, so on this week's episode, we're actually talking about Home Alone. Technically, I know this isn't Disney, but it is owned by Disney. Which is kind of while we're talking about it. It is owned by Disney. It was actually put out by New Line Cinema, but that's owned by Disney now. So we're allowed to cover that now. First thoughts of this movie?
Really funny.
There's a lot about this that I actually think is funny. Then there's some stuff about this that I'm a little more. That would never happen.
On some of it, it's like, that could really kill somebody.
Right. I do like it, though, and it is something I watch every year. Around Christmas time. So, all right, the synopsis. When a bratty 8-year-old, Kevin McAllister, acts out the night before a family trip to Paris, his mother makes him sleep in the attic. After the McAllisters mistakenly leave for the airport without Kevin, he awakens to an empty house and assumes his wish to have no family has come true. But his excitement sours when he realizes that two con men plan to rob the McAllister residence and that he alone must protect the family home.
Well, speaking of that, I don't know if you ever noticed when watching it, but when he spills that milk in the kitchen, if you look when they go wipe the table off, they wipe up and throw his plane ticket in the trash.
And then the budget for this movie, $18 million. So it's not a huge budget movie. I mean, $18 million is a lot of money, but for a movie, though, it's really not. However, the box office for this worldwide was $476.7 million. That's
making it the second highest grossing film of 1990.
Exactly. The release, Home Alone premiered in Chicago on November 10th, 1990. It was given a wide release on November 16th, 1990. I don't know why they used to do this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where they release it in one market, I mean, just to see how it does, and then worldwide, but I don't really get it. The ratings on this is IMDb gives it a 7.7 out of 10, which is a pretty good rating. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 66%, so better than 50%.
It was directed by Chris Columbus.
You know what else he directed? The first two Harry Potter movies. He's directed a lot more than that, too, but that's what I know him from.
But obviously, there's some big movies right there.
Yeah.
You know him for it.
It was filmed it was actually filmed here in Illinois, because that's where me and Jay actually live too. We're in Illinois. Winnetka, Illinois. I don't know where that's at. I'm assuming up by Chicago, to be honest with you.
I have no idea.
Exterior of the house was a 3-story single-family house at 671 Lincoln Avenue. Now, in the actual movie, he actually calls the cops and he gives the address. And he actually gives them Lincoln Boulevard, but this address. So he tells them he tells them the neighbor's address, which is like 651 Lincoln Boulevard, but he actually still gives them the street. Interior of house was on a soundstage built in the empty gym of New Trier High School's West Campus.
Nice.
It was an unused gym.
Why not?
I had the note. I can't freaking remember where I put it. The guy that actually helped make this movie, he did like 16 candles and stuff like that. This is actually where all his stuff took place, in this small town, which is why this film is filmed there.
Right.
When Kevin runs away from his third encounter with Marley in Hubbard Woods Park. That's where he runs through the park there. It's Hubbard Woods Park in Winnetka. How do you say that, dude? I don't know how you say this. In addition, the scene where Kevin wades in the neighbor's flooded basement was shot at the empty swimming pool of the high school. So they threw a bunch of stuff in the pool, built around the pool, and then he wades through the water. Which is crazy to think that flooding or, overflowing a sink would lead to that much water in the basement. That's a lot of water.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either. Winnetka? Winnetka, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, and the American Airlines DC-10 first class cabin interior, so when they're on the plane, it was done on the basketball courts of that high school.
They use that high school for a lot, huh?
Yeah. The church exteriors were shot at Trinity United Methodist Church in Wilmette, Illinois, where the interiors were shot at Grace Episcopal Church in Oak Park, Illinois.
It's cool that this is all done in Illinois, though. I didn't realize that.
I didn't know it was all done in Illinois either.
Cool.
I know he's supposed to live in Chicago, but that's really cool.
It is cool. Filming also took over 4 16-hour days at O'Hare International Airport. Wow.
Which served for both itself and Orly Airport in Paris. I can't remember whatever how you reach that. Now, before we get into the cast of this movie, one thing on this though, I found crazy, and that is one of the cameos. John Candy was only there for one day.
He filmed his cameo appearance for the film over the course of one day at Meigs Field.
One day, and nothing was wrote for him.
It's crazy.
They didn't write everything he says. Completely ad-libbed. Which is funny when you think about it, because he's in a polka band. I don't know if he knows that much about polka, but obviously he does, because,
Polka, polka, polka. Well, also, for the film within a film, Angels with Filthy Souls, the title of which parodies the 1938 crime film Angels with Dirty Faces, shooting took only one day on the final test day prior to the official start of principal photography to create the illusion that the film was an authentic 1940s gangster film. The scene was filmed on a black and white negative film, and Johnny's office featured props from the era like much of the film. Most of the sequence was shot with low wide angles that, according to the journalist Darren King, captured the action as if a child were perceiving it. Originally, Ralph Foodie was to play Snakes and Michael Guido was to play Johnny, but since Foodie had recently undergone knee replacement surgery, he was unable to do the death scene where Snakes drops to his knees, leading to the roles being switched.
see, that's actually awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Now, the other things in this, I kind of need to hold off just a second until after we go through the cast.
The fact that was done in just one day,
right?
It's crazy.
And they reuse that film throughout the movie.
On the final test day at that, as I say.
Alright, so the cast. This is actually a pretty big cast.
Of course, the main actor, Macaulay Culkin,
as Kevin McAllister.
Kevin McAllister.
I don't like the description of him, though. Macaulay Culkin as Kevin, an 8-year-old with a penchant for creating harmful inventions. Yes, no. I mean, what he's trying to do is protect himself in his house.
Yeah.
It's not really that he has he really has, something going for him in harmful inventions or anything. He's only doing it for a reason. John Hurd as Peter, Kevin's father. Catherine O'Hare as Kate, Kevin's mother. I'm not running through all their kids, dude.
No. Well, they're not all their kids. They're nieces and nephews.
They have 4 kids.
And nieces and nephews.
And then they have a ton of nieces and nephews. But they have 4 kids.
You got Buzz.
But I do have Buzz on here. David Rattray as Buzz, Kevin's oldest brother who often gets him into trouble.
Yeah.
Which he does.
Yeah, he instigates it and everything. So I pick on him, and then when Kevin decides to strike back, per se, that he ends up getting in trouble, not the brother, which he is.
Jerry Babman as Uncle Frank, Peter's rude, cruel, cantankerous, cheap, and selfish older brother. That he is.
Yes.
Wouldn't pay for the pizza. He's staying in their house. Wouldn't pay for the pizza.
Wasn't paying for his trip to Paris. His brother was paying for it.
Their other brother was paying for it. I've actually heard this a lot. Like, what did Kevin's father do to afford a trip for all these people? He wasn't paying for the trip. His other brother was. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, though. Joe Pesci as Harry, a thief who targets McAllister's home with Marv.
Daniel Stern.
As Marv,
yeah.
Who targets that McAllister's house.
A.K.A. the Wet Bandits.
And Roberts Blossom as Marley, Kevin's eccentric elderly neighbor. There's also one more in here that I didn't actually put on the list, but I do want to say. His cousin, Fuller, is actually played by Macaulay's youngest brother, Karen Culkin. And they've actually said that, like, he actually come out and said, I won't let my kids watch Home Alone until they're older because I don't want them to think that's what families do. Which, okay, I understand that. But it's kind of weird that you won't let your kids watch you, right? Did you just kind of explain, this was the 90s.
Crazy hustle and bustle, and then get ready to take a trip, and everybody apparently, for some reason, all their nieces and nephews were staying at their house.
The ones from... Okay, so the brother that lives in Paris, his kids were staying there because they were just finishing out school.
Yeah.
I don't know why Frank and his wife were there with their kids. But I have a few problems with it.
When they could have easily just met them at the airport the next morning for their tickets. I don't know why they all had to be there. There's a lot of people in the house.
All right, how do you say that guy's name that plays the bad guy?
Joe Pesci?
Yeah, Pesci, yeah. All right, my other notables that we haven't talked about yet. Pesci said in a 2022 interview with People of working with Culkin, I intentionally limited my interaction with him to preserve the dynamic and made sure not to come across on the screen that we were in any way friendly in order to maintain the integrity of the adversarial relationship.
That's pretty cool.
That is.
That's pretty cool.
On the set, Pesci and Stern both had difficulty refraining from cursing, which became annoying to Pesci since Culkin was on the set as well. In fact, the only curse words that made it into the film were shit. I can't, not say. I mean, it is in there. Accidentally said by Daniel Stern when his shoe fell through the pet door, and hell, which was said by both Pesci and Stern after their characters encounter one another after going through Kevin's booby traps, and by Johnny to the character of Snakes and Angels with Filthy Souls. Pesci's use of cartoon cursing or menacing gibberish garnered comparison to Looney Tunes character Yosemite Sam. Which actually, that works for him. It really does. It works perfectly for him. And then, John Candy was available for only one day to film his scenes, which took 23 hours to shoot. He was paid only $414 since he did the film as a favor to Hughes. That's who did it. John Hughes. In return, he was the only actor Hughes allowed to go off script according to Columbus. All his dialogue was improvised. Which is crazy to think he did that whole thing in a single day, all improvised.
Yeah, apparently Hughes had asked Patrick Reed Johnson to direct, but he was committed to directing Space Invaders. So he turned to Chris Columbus, who had left National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I knew there was something else he had done, but I couldn't.
Before shooting started because of personal clashes with the starring actor Chevy Chase, who Columbus had treated him like dirt. Hughes gave him the script for both Home Alone and Reach the Rock. Columbus chose to direct Home Alone as he found it funnier and liked the Christmas theme. Columbus did an uncredited rewrite of the script. Among his contributions was the character of Old Man Marley, which he created to give the story a more serious layer as well as a more emotional, happier ending. I did not know that.
I didn't either. I mean, I knew it after I read that earlier, but
it's kind of cool.
And they actually interviewed a buttload of kids for the title role, even though they knew exactly who they were going to give it to.
Well, Hughes suggested Columbus that they cast Macaulay Culkin as Kevin because of his experience while shooting Uncle Buck.
I know. I was just
Columbus
saying.
met with 200 actors for the part, as he felt it was his directorial responsibility. Good Lord.
Like I said, they already knew who they were giving that to. Alright, my problems with it. Okay. So it starts, you're actually at the McAllister home.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Where you actually have Harry as a cop. And he's just like trying to figure out,
Apparently he's an officer just going around and checking out people,
Yeah, and during the holidays to make sure that if people are
traveling,
traveling, their
houses are being secured.
And how they're being secured. Like he was basically just scoping out the neighborhood.
Which is pretty ingenious for somebody that's going to be planning on robbing a place, like pretending to be a cop that's going around just kind of trying to make sure everybody's stuff, all your stuff's taken care of while, in good hands while you guys travel.
Yeah.
See who's traveling, see who's not, so he knows which house to hit up.
And then you see all the craziness, man. You see, 11 kids, 4 adults, which is a ton of people. Now, my question is, what does Peter's brother do to actually afford that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's flying 11 people, 4 of which are first class.
Yeah, because all the adults are in first class.
What does he do to afford that? I mean, I know ticket prices in the 90s weren't as much, but Jesus
Still wasn't cheap for that many people.
Yeah.
Still had to be at least a couple $100, a few $100.
I would say probably a few thousand.
I don't know quite that much, but I mean, I know each first class ticket back then probably would have been at least.
I don't know. We can find this out.
Yeah, I don't know what prices were of air tickets back then.
First class ticket. First class ticket.
Well, he's looking that up. Apparently, Robert De Niro and John Lovitz turned down the roles of Harry, and Joe Pesci accepted it. The role of Uncle Frank was written for Kelsey Grammer, but it was given to Jerry Bamman when Grammer was unavailable. Daniel Stern was cast as Marr, but before shooting started, he was told that the production schedule had been extended from 6 weeks to 8. He dropped out after he would not be paid for more than the extended schedule. Daniel Roebuck was hired to replace him, but after 2 days of rehearsal, Columbus felt he was lacking chemistry with Pesci and brought back Stern. Oh, nice.
To Paris.
Chris Farley auditioned for the role of the Santa Claus impersonator, but he failed to impress Columbus.
Huh. Huh. Dude. According to calculations based on the Home Alone movie, a first-class ticket to Paris from Chicago in 1990 would have cost around $8,500 per person on American Airlines.
8,500.
8,500.
And he bought 4.
Yeah.
Good Lord! Plus all the other tickets.
Yeah.
Oh Lord!
All right, I'm gonna look up for Coach.
That is insane.
$1,200. According to information from Home Alone and adjusted for inflation, a coach ticket to Paris in 1990 would have cost around $1,200 per person. That means a family of 11 buying coach tickets would have spent roughly $13,200 on airfare to Paris.
Hey, his brother must have been loaded.
That was just for the 11 children.
Yeah, that's not counting the 4 first class tickets. Brother must have been loaded.
What did I say the first class was? 86?
80 something thousand. 85,000 or something, 84,000. That was insane.
13.2. Oh, crap. I just screwed myself up here. There it is. Plus 13,200. $47,600 just to fly all of them.
That's insane. There's no way in hell. There's no way it was that much back then for plane tickets. I wouldn't know what it was today because I don't fly. I've never flown.
Yeah, I've never flown either.
I wouldn't know what a price of a ticket is, but that is crazy.
For a domestic flight in 1990, it was around $500. Which is actually what it is today. So really, airline tickets prices haven't changed much. Apparently, I don't know.
That is just insane.
But yeah, you're looking at almost $50,000 to fly them to another country.
My brother must have been loaded.
Yeah, I would say. I also don't agree with what they did. So they ordered all these pizzas. Was it 10 pizzas, $12 a piece?
Or one cheese.
Order
Pizza.
one cheese and then don't tell anybody, hey, don't eat all the cheese. Make sure Kevin gets some.
Well, the fact that his brother did what he did, knowing that that's the only kind of pizza that Kevin eats, and Buzz made sure he ate the last piece of it or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, grab a plate. Ooh, ooh.
But you look at everybody else's plates and nobody else is eating it. But apparently all they got was Supreme pizzas. Hey, who buys just Supreme pizzas? If you're buying that many pizzas, just order random pizzas.
Buzz really was just flat out a jerk to Kevin.
Absolutely.
Just mean to him constantly.
And there's no reason for him to
And
be.
yeah, he never got in trouble for it. Only Kevin did when Kevin decided to strike back at him or whatever. When Kevin would be the one to get in trouble. Like, what about Buzz? Oh, this is the second one, but when they're at the concert and he's doing this behind him, and finally Kevin notices and shoves him, Kevin's the one that gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Not Buzz, even though they can clearly see what Buzz is doing.
That's because Buzz does that whole performance. Oh, I am deeply sorry for for the issues I have caused, kind of stuff, and they just forgive him, and Kevin refuses.
But then he whispers to Kevin, where they can't hear it. So Kevin pushes back with it. But like seriously, you can clearly see what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he basically just gets away with it. Like what?
Well, and even in the first film, the scene where he literally tells him, "Yeah, but you're gonna have any, then somebody's gotta barf it up," and then he says, "Kevin, grab a plate." Y'all can't hear him going make the noise like he's gonna throw up. And you don't tell him, "Buzz, knock it off."
Right, like it's ridiculous.
Because you see in the background, you see people looking at him doing it, and people just no problem. He's the only one. Kevin's the only one that gets in trouble for it.
Which is why Kevin gets so upset. Which I completely felt bad for Kevin. Was on Kevin's side because I'm like, y'all were like taking it all out on Kevin. Kevin's like, getting yelled at, screaming at, getting made to go up bed, getting in trouble. Yet people that are antagonizing him or whatever and pushing him to that point are just getting away with it, being able to do whatever they want.
And everybody's rude to him.
Yeah.
Like, he's telling people, look, I don't know how to pack my bag.
Yeah, he's trying to ask with the pack, and they're all like, quit being a whiny baby, you know I'm going to do it for you, and this and that and the other.
Like, he genuinely asking them, hey, I don't know how to do this. How should I do this? And they're just being rude to him.
I'm pretty sure one of them just pretty much flat out tells him he's a loser.
Yeah.
Like, they're just mean.
For no reason.
Even his uncle is just rude to him.
Yeah.
Grown adult is just, like, hateful towards him. Like, what is going on in this family? Like, every kid, the uncle, like, they're just nasty. And I'm like, what is going on? And no wonder he wishes that he could wake up and everybody just be gone.
They also sent him to bed with nothing to eat.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even make this poor boy
And
a
not even
sandwich.
just to his bed. They sent him all the way up to the attic.
Yeah.
To the bed in the attic.
That they were going to send Fuller up. Okay, if you know this boy pees the bed, why are you letting him drink Pepsi?
Yeah, why are you letting him have anything to drink before bed?
Like, this doesn't make sense.
I don't know what to say.
And then if they can find somewhere else for Fuller to go, why couldn't they find somewhere else for him to go? Like, why did he have to go all the way up to the attic? Like, that was their plan, to put him in the attic with Fuller, but why did he have to go to the attic to begin with?
Was he kicked out of his own bedroom?
I'm assuming probably to make room for his aunt and uncle.
Like, nobody else had to get up their room, just him? Like,
Apparently.
Nobody else in the room? Although I do like the layout of Buzz's room, though.
I do too.
Like, all the shelvings he has and everything, like, the way he's laid out. Is nice.
I do too. I do like the way his is laid out, and I like the fact that he has a tarantula.
Yeah.
Nobody else has a pet, and he's the only one.
Yeah.
And then he actually tells them the story about Old Man Marley, about how he's the shovel slayer.
Just because I heard the noise and when I looked out the window and the old man's out there with a shovel and salt on the sidewalk and shoveling.
But that's, and then it says that that trash can full of salt is where he keeps his victims. How that trash can is not that big?
He chops them up and their body parts are underneath the
But
salt.
he says the salt mummifies them. But how?
As soon as the old man looks up, they all freak out. Ooh!
Which starts Kevin being terrified of this old man. And he, but his mom sends him up to the attic. Kevin goes to bed. Wakes up in pajamas, but he didn't go up to bed in pajamas.
Yeah, apparently.
Not sure how
they all make their way to bed. They all go to bed. Apparently, at some point in time during the night,
There's a windstorm.
windstorm breaks off a tree branch or whatever, and knocks out power.
Poor Santa just goes rolling down the road. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
What?
But yeah, there's one of them plastic Santas that
yeah.
lights up, just rolls down the road.
Yeah, and nobody in this house had like a backup alarm clock with batteries or whatever. Nobody.
None of them.
So the power goes out, nobody's alarm goes off. They
And I know
oversleep.
this is before cell phones, because like now
Right.
you're like, well, that wouldn't be a big deal. Your alarm's your cell phone.
Well, I mean, I still use an alarm clock. Well, I don't now because I'm in the living room, but my room, I have my actual alarm clock.
But yeah, so they end up losing power, which obviously shuts all their clocks off. They are supposed to be up and out the door by 8 o'clock. Instead, it's a little bit later. Kevin's mom actually asks his oldest sister, Heather, to go out and count.
Do a head count.
Do a head count. So she goes out. She counts 11
The only
children.
problem is, before they all get out there, the neighbor kid comes
Yes.
over and like starts going through their stuff, the bags they already had in there, and like starts asking questions. Or no, he starts asking all kinds of questions to the driver, and then they put bags in there, and he just like starts going through their stuff.
Yeah.
And then as she's counting, he's just like digging through their bags, and all she sees is the back of his head. Counts in him as one.
You also notice she counted herself twice.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. She says 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Buzz starts his whole little thing. And then she gets down to the end, and then she counts herself as 11. So she actually counts herself twice.
But then, like, he's like, all right, bye, guys. Bring me back something for Paris. And walks away. So my mom goes out there and asks for counter, but she's like, yeah, just me the kids, me blah, 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 whatever. So they take off.
Actually, I like how she puts it. 11 kids, 4 adults, 2 drivers, and a partridge in a pear tree. But they're rushing to the airport and running.
They're behind.
They barely make it to the gate.
Their poor statue gets knocked over and like
So
decoration
much.
gets ran into. Like,
So much. Like 90% of the time by the pizza dude.
Like, how do you... Like, what are you doing that you don't see this big statue? You just run into it.
My question is, how does that pizza dude have his job still?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, like, he's a very dangerous driver.
Yeah.
Sliding around corners and into driveways, and he is a very dangerous driver.
Anyways.
But yeah, they all make it to the plane and, you know, sit down. It's Kevin's mom's like, man, I know we forgot something. We forgot to do something.
Well, her mom, his mom.
Yeah. Man, just I know we forgot something. I know we forgot something.
His dad's like, oh, did you shut the garage door? She's like, no, that's what it is now.
Never mind the fact that they did not count their kids as they got on the plane.
Yeah.
This is insane.
And first of all, as a parent, why didn't you double count the heads when you got out to the car? Just to make sure your daughter counted correctly.
I know. Or, as y'all are running through, you don't notice, oh, hey, there's one missing?
Yeah, or as everybody's getting out of the car at the airport, you don't, you know, you're seeing everybody get out, you're not noticing that there's not a kid there. One of the kids that's missing. Well, I guess because they were in such a rush.
I know, it's just insane. Like, you don't notice you're missing a kid? At all?
Yeah, Kevin's bag is there.
Is it?
Yeah, because when they start handing the bags.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, maybe that's the second
that's the second one.
one. Maybe that's the second one. Never mind.
You're getting
Get my movies crossed.
Well, then Kevin wakes up and his family's gone. And, like, I don't know about you, but at 8 years old, and you wake up and your family's gone, you're not thinking the same way he is. Your first reaction is you're going to freak the hell out.
Well, I mean, I guess, though, if you're being treated the way he's being treated like that, and you wake up and it's gone, you might act that way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. And your Christmas wish was to be without
at first,
your family gone.
You might act that way, but then after the initial hell yeah wears off, I think you might start to freak out a little bit. Like, wait a minute, okay, where is everybody at? Like, nobody's coming back. Like, what am I doing? You know?
Yeah.
But
how am I going to eat? I'm not granted at 8 years old I can feed myself. Obviously, I can make myself.
You gotta go into your siblings' room and steal their cash, and then go to the grocery store, go buy groceries like he did.
Or he orders himself a pizza. You really gonna tell me that pizza place just decided to take this kid's order? Because it's not like you can do it online then. So it's got to be made over the phone. But that first day, he's eating ice cream. Basically just eating nothing but junk food. Which, to be fair, if I was 8 years old, that's exactly what I would do if I'm left at home alone.
Watching movies he's not supposed to watch.
I know, he covers his eyes and then literally just goes... and watches it anyways, and it's like, well, what was the point of you covering your eyes? It was just while he's getting shot.
I don't know, he's a pretty smart kid, though. Pretty ingenious the way he rigs all that stuff up.
Well, and then we see the outside into the plumber's van where Harry and Marv are, and they're actually talking about what houses they're going to rob. And the first house they're going to hit is the McAllister's house. Wouldn't you want to save that one for last just because you know they got more stuff?
Well, then Harry's like, starts like, this one's going to come on now. This one's going to come on now. Like, because they're all like automatically set the lights come on or whatever.
But like I said, wouldn't you want to save that one for last? I mean, it is the biggest house on the block. Everyone else has just normal houses.
But the way he has it like set up, like there's a freaking house party going on.
Not the first time. The first time he just flips on all the lights. So then they think, okay, well, we'll just come back. Maybe they didn't leave in time. Tomorrow. We'll just come back tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow comes, and they're robbing another house. And did you actually read the side of their van?
I did, but I don't remember what it says.
It says OK Plumbing.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the number is JK5. And then it actually has the last 4 digits, but what is JK5?
Just kidding.
I'm pretty sure, isn't it at 555 still?
I don't know.
Where's my phone? I got pulled. It is still 555. Because that's always their number in movies is 555 something. But the first 3 digits are always 555.
Just kidding.
But I love the name, OK Plumbing.
Well, yeah, because they're the wet bandits.
But then you see, like, Marv actually does just leave the water running. Oh, crap, man. We actually jumped ahead a little bit. Kevin's mom finally realizes what they don't have with them, what they forgot. They forgot Kevin.
Yeah.
So she's freaking out on the plane. And they get in Paris and they're trying to call back home everybody that they know back home. Of course, everybody's gone on vacation. She was literally talking to the people she's trying to call about their vacation plans. Like in the beginning of the movie. I don't understand why she would call them. They literally told her where they were going.
What gets me is they actually, talk to the police, and they actually sent that police officer out there who knocks on the door, and nobody answers. Okay, first of all, it's an 8-year-old kid. You think he's not going to be scared when there's a knock on the door? He has no idea who's out there?
Why didn't he knock to say police?
Right, like... Of course, he didn't answer. He's there by himself. They're knocking on the door. He has no idea who's knocking on the door. So he's scared and hiding.
Well, and literally, that, or just a little bit before that, he clicked on the lights because people are trying to break into his house. So that doesn't make sense why they would just not say police.
Yeah. So of course the officer's like, oh, well, nobody answered. Nobody's there. Well, nobody answered because an 8-year-old kid and you're scared.
But the rest of the time with Kevin's mom is just clips of her trying to get back home.
Trying to figure out how to get back to her baby.
However, back home where Kevin is, Kevin actually, I want to do something he actually did. So the next day after that, he decides he's going to sled down his stairs. I wanted to try this so bad. Because I want to know if it would work.
Dude, this kid is crazy. Like he goes.
I don't know how you would get a sled going down like this, and then like it not hit the bottom and flip.
Like,
how it goes down and keeps going because there was nothing there to make it keep going.
Like he goes into his brother's room, starts to climb the shelf to get his brother's money, breaks the entire shelving unit.
I'm pretty sure he's actually just snooping in his brother's room.
He's like, his brother's life savings. Doesn't look like a whole lot of money for a life savings.
Looks like just a few bucks. I want to know where he got the $20 to go to the grocery store and the $12 for a pizza.
Well, some of it came out of his brother's life savings.
Well, some of it did, but where did he get the rest?
I don't know. But he breaks the entire shelf, which means he broke the spider's cage. So the spider's now just running around the house.
He's just cool with it. He doesn't like try to catch the spider or nothing.
Then he ends up going through his brother's trunk. Like pulling stuff, found a nudie magazine. He was like, "Oh,
ugh, gross." They don't have clothes on.
And then he picks up a picture of some random girl. He's like, "Buzz, your girlfriend, roof." Oof. Finds a BB gun, a bunch of army toy soldiers, take those out. Then this kid's so genius. Then he goes outside, like cuts down part of the tree for his Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Like, for what is an 8-year-old doing with a saw?
Yeah, he literally takes care of himself.
Goes to the grocery store. Like, it's funny when he goes to the store, though, because he starts asking about a toothbrush.
Oh, that's because he realized he needed a toothbrush.
But he's like asking, like, is this whatever he said
Approved by the American
Yeah.
Dental
It's
Association.
like that's just like I don't know.
My question is, why didn't she just say, absolutely it
Yeah.
is? He doesn't know the difference.
Buy like TV dinner and stuff. He's like, oh, I got coupon for that.
But that's actually when he runs from Marley, Old Man Marley's, because he comes in behind him and he just puts his hand up there.
And he
And
said, back it up.
Like-
Like, you got to pay for that.
you see him freaking out. So you're like, why don't you just, hey, calm down. You're safe here. You're safe here.
Takes out a shoplifter.
Like, he obviously was not trying to steal from you. Like, he genuinely was. He was scared. So he's just running away because he's scared.
I mean, this kid even goes to get groceries and has coupons.
Yeah.
Like, where'd you get the coupons? Like, did your mom just have a coupon book somewhere you took them out of?
But after he steals the toothbrush and runs through the park where they're ice skating, and he just drops to his knees and just slides all the way across there while the cop's falling down. He gets like to the point where he's safe, and he's like, "I'm a criminal." You're not really a criminal, dude. You accidentally stole a toothbrush.
Yeah.
You didn't actually mean to steal it.
But like, they need to go back to that same store to get groceries later.
No, he didn't.
Or is it a different store? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know it was a different store. How do you get to a different store? Like,
I have no idea.
are that many stores that close?
Apparently,
I just figured it was the same store.
oh, one's like a little pharmacy, and one's like a grocery store.
I just figured it was the same store.
Because before he went up to the checkout, which was just a little counter,
Yeah.
and then the next was an actual checkout
Oh, yeah.
thing. But yeah, he walks back. He almost gets hit by the two bad guys in the van because they're arguing.
And when Joe Pesci's character like smiles or whatever, he sees the gold tooth,
Yep.
which he remembers like cop being in the house having the same tooth, so he was the same person.
But that's when you find out that Marv leaves the water running because they're the wet bandits. And I would love to know how many houses they actually did this to.
I don't know. But then they start following him, so he takes off front. Then he hides in like a nativity scene.
And then, in the nativity scene, he strips one of the shepherd what are those guys? The shepherds, I guess. I don't know, ones that bring the gifts. But he strips one of them. And he's just standing there. Like, they just drive right past, and then he realizes, I gotta get home. I gotta protect my house tonight. That is when he actually sets up the first elaborate scheme to protect his house, which was pretty genius. He used mannequins, a life-size cutout
Like
of
Shaq, I think. Or,
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
They're from Chicago.
yeah.
And it's the 90s, so it's going to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
A record player with one of them the dress mannequins up on it that just kind of spins. Like, this kid's freaking genius.
I think he had like a train, like one that set up like a train, so
That was the Michael Jordan thing, so it just kept going around.
make it look like they were dancing and stuff in there in a party. This kid is a genius.
Yeah, blast the music. So and he actually has like the arms of the mannequin and everything, and the whole mannequin like tied up to where he can move them with his arms and legs, and he's back there dancing, which makes them look like they're dancing. And it's like, man, I'm not gonna lie, dude, I don't know if I would have came up with that.
At 8 years old, there's no way I would have come up with something like that elaborate. Like, that's just insane.
Like, protecting my house, I could see me coming up with some of that, like the micro machine stuff like that. I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have done the tar on the stairs and the nail.
The jacks on the floor, though, yeah, I could. I would have thought about that.
Easily come up with that. Or like the barbecue thing on the handle. I don't know if I would have gone like that. That was like kind of twisted.
Or
the blowtorch.
Or the string hooked up to the stapler, staple gun, whatever. Some of it was a bit much.
Little bit. But yeah, just there's a lot of the stuff that he does to like, but he sets up this whole elaborate thing, and that's when you realize, he's willing to protect his house. he's gonna make sure nobody steals anything from him.
But yeah, like the jacks on the floor, like putting liquid on the floor, make it slick so they slide and fall. Yeah, like, I would have come up with stuff like that.
But then after a few days, that's when he goes grocery shopping and he buys TV dinners, a macaroni and cheese TV dinner, Stouffer's dinner, and ask if these are any good.
Also, laundry detergent, I do believe.
Because he's out of laundry. Now, I have a question for you, though. At 8 years old, you may have put on an aftershave. If you've seen your dad do it a few times, you may have done it once. Why would you keep doing it if it burns the first time?
He gets out of the shower, he's all.
That's what I mean. Like, the first time you do
My
it...
question is, though, he didn't actually shave, so he didn't have any open. Why would it have burned?
Some aftershave does burn, regardless if you shave or not. Some of it does burn.
Because usually it burns because you freshly shave, so everything's open.
Yeah.
Because it put all the hair out. That's why. But he didn't shave. Just, I don't understand.
I don't either. But why would you use it again if it burns you the first time? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I think they just wanted that scene of him going like that. But the first time he's singing, the second time he's actually talking to himself. Like saying what he needs to do and buy.
Oh, and he still buzzes firecrackers too. I
Yes.
forgot that.
Actually, that actually comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because when Marv and Harry decide to check out the house, he actually clicks on the movie.
Well, he sends Marv to do it, and then
Yeah.
Marv goes around to the back.
But he actually sends Marv to check it out. He goes around back, and his shoe falls through the doggy door. So he reaches in and grabs the shoe, which is what makes Kevin think, hey, I need to turn this movie on. Just happened to be keyed up to the right place. I don't know how you do that perfectly, but okay. And then he gets the pan down, and then he throws firecrackers.
And he lights it just right so that it goes off just at the exact same time as the gunfire goes off.
Yeah.
Lined up perfectly. Like, how did you know to get that, to line that up, to be able to light that so it would come off the exact same time? Perfectly.
But not just that. He actually ends up trashing his mom's pan.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to tell me that doesn't trash that pan.
Oh, man.
On top of that, dude, you're actually blowing something up in your house, which means it is going to set off smoke detectors. You know, you can't tell me this house isn't wired for.
Well,
something.
not necessarily though, because firecrackers don't really get off that much smoke, so it might not have.
In a house, though,
I still don't think it
in a
would've.
pan,
I still don't think it would have because they don't really give off that much smoke.
maybe.
I don't think it'd been enough, but it would have been super loud.
Yeah,
Definitely inside that pan, inside the house.
which freaks out Marv. He runs, trips over the trash cans. Which, to be honest with you, I'm surprised he wasn't like setting those out for like the trash man to come pick up.
To be honest, they really were not the brightest criminals.
Well, no,
at all by any
no.
means.
When he decides, let's leave the water running, they literally can tie every crime back to you now. Like, are you really that stupid?
That was their calling card.
But even Harry's like, you got to stop doing that. And he just continues doing it.
Well, it's like when they're robbing that one house. Instead of just opening the cabinet door and tears out, he just breaks it with like in his hand and starts scraping it out. Was it necessary to shatter that glass? That's a good way to get caught. Somebody's gonna hear that.
Yeah.
Like you could just open it and then put everything in the bag. You just have to smash all the glass, making all that ruckus.
Well, even Harry says something to him like, Marv, you're one of the great cat burglars in the world. Do you think you can keep it down?
Like, dude.
So, like, he's even being called out on it from his partner.
Like, not a very good criminal, man. You're gonna draw so much attention to yourself.
Yes. Now, they decide to see who killed who, but they fall asleep in their van.
They are like snakes. Snakes. I know I've heard that name before. Snakes. No, I don't know snakes.
Meanwhile, Kevin's mom, still trying to get back home to him, offers a lady, 2 first-class tickets if she flies out on Friday, $500 cash, her watch, her bracelet, or her necklace, and her earrings, just if they fly out on Friday. Just so she can get one ticket to get back to the U.S. That is insane. But whatever. But they go back to Kevin. Kevin realizes, like, he gotta go grocery shopping. He goes grocery shopping. He buys a bunch of stuff that he needs. Milk, TV dinners, which you can make in the microwave. Makes sense why he buy them. Laundry soap, because he needs to do some laundry. Which you find out he's terrified of the basement.
Because of the furnace.
And, of course, as he's walking home, all the bags break. Drops all of his stuff on the ground. Surprised none of them jugs broke.
Somehow he gets it all back and he got to make it home, though.
He does. And you see him doing laundry. You see him just kind of doing what he needs to do during the day. And he winds up at the church. And he's talking. He's sitting there watching the choir sing. And then old man Marley actually comes over and talks to him. Asks if he can sit down. Told him he doesn't have to be afraid of him.
And that's when you find out he's really not a creepy murderer.
He's literally just shoveling the sidewalk to be nice.
He's a lonely old man who misses his granddaughter and his son.
Which you could tell his granddaughter, because he says it's an arrangement he has with his granddaughter. He comes and watches her and she pretends he's not there, but she literally keeps just looking over at him and smiling.
That's the only way he gets to see her, because him and his son are on good terms right now, because they had an argument. Big argument about something.
And then Kevin keeps telling him, well, you need to call your son. But old man Marley, has a really nice conversation with Kevin. I mean, they end up becoming friends. And old man Marley does actually listen to Kevin. He does end up calling his son.
And then Kevin goes home, and next day they see Kevin sitting at the dinner table with his TV dinner and mac and cheese.
But he actually sets up an entire plan. He actually lays out the plan for his little home thing, his home protection act, which are micro machines by the front door and the steps, paint buckets from the steps, a tripwire going up to the basement or up to the attic, with a rope leading out to their treehouse. Ornaments by the window. I'm trying to think of everything. A blowtorch by the back door. He ices all the steps, which pretty genius. Puts a barbecue charcoal lighter on the door handle in the front, so it heats up the door handle.
Brings up a stapler in the second one, or this one?
That was in the second one, I believe.
I think it is. Can't remember.
In the basement, he puts
that nail on the stair.
He puts a nail on a shingle.
Yeah.
Puts that on the stair and then covers that in tar, along with every other step on the tar, or on the tar. He tars all the other steps, so that as he's walking up the steps, he's losing his shoes, his socks, and he steps on the nail barefooted.
Yeah.
And then drops an iron on his face.
Puts whatever all over the floor down, makes him slide into the freaking shelving and paint cans.
Second one.
Is it the second one?
Yeah.
Can you get him?
Because he's not covered in paint in this one. But he does, he puts a saran wrap up with what looks like caulking is what it looks like. And then the fan with the feathers. So when he walks through and he gets the saran wrap off of him, it pulls the thing that stops the fan blade all over him. Makes him look like a chicken. Because that's actually one of the lines of, what the hell happened to your face? He said, why do you look like a chicken? But Kevin runs upstairs, like, while these guys are going through all this.
They kind of use that same thing in the second one, too.
I do.
In the Central Park, they cover them and stuff, and they get them covered in feathers.
Yeah.
The bird seed, yeah. I just thought it would do something. I was like, really? They use that, basically that same little skit there in the second one as well. Like,
well, same with the paint cans. This time they learn about the paint cans. So he drops a pipe on him in the second one. Which sends them all the way back to the basement. But he actually, like, they actually chase him upstairs. They trip over. They slip on the micro machines. So it's Harry coming in the back door, or trying to come to the front, while Marv goes down to the basement. Marv slips down the stairs to the basement. Harry slips down the stairs on the front. When he finally gets up, he grabs the doorknob, which is hot. Burns his hand. He runs back, like pushes it in the snow.
He ends up going around the side of the house, find a window.
Well, Harry goes to go to the back door, and he opens the back door and gets his head burnt by the blowtorch. Actually, first they both try to go in the back door, and Kevin shot him with the BB gun. Shot him right in the ball. Shot Harry right in the balls with the BB gun. Marv looks in the doggy door, gets shot right in the forehead. That's when they split up. That's what causes them to split up. Marv goes down the basement. Marv actually gets in. That's when he finds out about. He pulls what he thinks is a light switch. Ends up not being. It's from the laundry chute with an iron attached, and it drops on his face. And the steps, of course, are all tar. That's when he decides to go back up. I don't know how he got up them steps. Decides to go back up and go outside with no shoes on in the snow. And he's going to climb through a window, steps on ornaments. But while he's doing all that, Harry's actually goes to the front. Like I said, he burns his hand. Decides to go to the back door. Opens the back door. Gets his head caught on fire by a blowtorch. How did this kid not catch his house on fire is beyond me. Puts his head in the snow. Harry decides to kick in the back door so he can get in, and that's when he runs into the saran wrap with the crap all over it.
See, they do that the head and the blowtorch they get in the second one, too. Except he dips his head in the toilet, which is full of
kerosene.
Kerosene, yeah.
Same with the rope dipped in kerosene. Well, then so they finally end up meeting up. They ask each other what happened, and then they decide to chase this kid upstairs because Kevin's just mocking them. So they chase him upstairs. In the process, he throws one paint can down, and Harry dodges it. It hits Marv right in the face. Well, Marv's trying to tell Harry, watch out! And Harry turns around, boom, takes the second one right to the face.
Harry decides, I'm coming to get you. Like, acts like he's going to go up the steps and backs up.
That's the second one.
Is that the second one? See, there's so much I can't.
A lot of same. Yeah. I know. They get upstairs. Actually, this scene too is actually something I find kind of funny. Is that they did not actually tell the dude playing Marv that they were actually going to use a real tarantula because they wanted his reaction to be real. So they just stuck a live tarantula on this dude's face. So that scream he has is a legit scream. Like, no joke. Like, he is freaking out because there's a spider on his face. But Kevin gets upstairs. He actually goes out to the tree house. Them guys follow. They start actually climbing out. And he decides to cut the rope and then run to the neighbor's house through the basement, which is where you see him wading through the basement, come up the stairs just to run into them guys. They actually hang him on the door, and they're talking about causing him pain, including biting his fingers off, which apparently he still has a scar on his finger where he actually bit his finger. Like, it wasn't intentional, like he didn't actually try to hurt him or anything, but like he accidentally bit his finger too hard, and actually left a scar. But the two bad guys get their face smacked in with a shovel from Old Man Marley, who saves Kevin, sends him home, and apparently he decides he will just go home and clean up. And the cops show up and arrest the Wet Bandits, and
of course Barb is like, tell them, make sure you write down the Wet Bandits.
And they're like, thanks to that, we know every house you've hit.
Yeah.
I would love to know how many houses they hit.
Yeah. Apparently quite a few.
Apparently. But yeah, they end up going to jail. Well, the next day it's snowing. And Kevin's mom gets home because it's Christmas. Kevin's mom gets home. Well, right about that time, Kevin's dad gets home too. But in order for her to get home, she got stuck. And she just had to get to Chicago. It just so happened to be.
She ended up running into the Polka King.
I want to say, dude, they were actually stuck in Ohio. And the polka band was actually going to Milwaukee. So Chicago was on their way. So they offered her a ride. They rent basically a U-Haul truck.
Yeah.
And drive. The whole time playing music. And, like, they did. And, like, it was kind of cool, though, because, like, he gave her, like, the backstory to all of these guys.
Yeah.
Without these guys actually having to even talk. Like, none of it mattered. But, like, he gave her the whole backstory on all these guys.
When she gets there, Kevin comes down, they're hugging, and he asks where everybody's at. And she's like, they weren't able to come back yet. And like, what, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later or something, they all start coming in the door.
Yeah.
He's like, how'd you get here? Like, we took that flight on Friday that you didn't want to take.
Yeah. See, she should have just waited till Friday. I get it, though. Like, she's freaking out, man. She just wants back to her son.
They hear Buzz like, it's pretty cool you didn't burn the place down.
But then he actually looks out the window and he actually sees that Old Man Marley actually listened to him.
Yeah.
Called his son, and his son and granddaughter showed up.
His son and his son's wife and I guess his daughter-in-law.
Yeah. Which is really cool. Like I said, he actually took Kevin's advice and he called. You know, the worst thing that can happen is you say no, and at least you know where you stand.
And he kind of gives Kevin a little, like, acknowledgement.
So now these guys are friends. And then you hear Kevin's dad go, Kevin!
No, I think it was Buzz because he went to his room and seen that the shelf was broke.
Maybe it was.
I think it was Buzz also in here, but Kevin!
But that is the end of the movie.
It's an all over just really fun family film.
It is. And yes, no, a family would not just leave their 8-year-old son. Like, even if you're in that much of a rush, you make sure everybody's up.
And yes, obviously it's fictional because some of the stuff Kevin did would have killed them.
Yes.
There's no way they would have survived it. But
Yes, next year when we cover 2, definitely that one. But yeah, reach out to us to see what, tell us, let us know what you guys think about those two guys podcast 1@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook. Those two guys talk Disney.
yes, please.
You can actually comment and subscribe on YouTube.
Like, subscribe, and share, please.
Yes. Or Spotify. You can also leave us comments and reviews on Spotify as well as YouTube. Please do that. Just kind of helps get our name out there a little bit more. I know on Spotify, Noel was supposed to be up. It's not up yet because I was actually having problems with uploading it. I'm actually working on that now. Obviously this isn't going to go out till Tuesday. So if you see 2 like back to back like that, it's because of the issues I was having with Noel. But no problems with YouTube. YouTube like uploaded it and it's already posted and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Then next week's episode will actually be the last for the year. Because we're actually going to take the week of New Year's Eve off, which would be technically the next. There should actually be 3 episodes that come out for the rest of this year, which would be this one, the next one, and there should be one after. We decided to take that third one off. We got to give ourselves little breaks. That way we don't get overwhelmed and we can kind of recharge a little bit. And we're probably going to need to recharge a little bit after Christmas.
It's holiday season and a lot of stuff going on, so.
And we're still going to release one. There literally will be one that comes out on Christmas Eve. Because that'll be a Tuesday. But that's why we're recording these actually like quite a, like 10, 11 days in advance is what we're recording this. So like we're in advance. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think, and we'll be back with you guys next week.
From you guys.
See you later.